Hello everyone and welcome. In this demonstration, we'll continue talking about OAuth tokens and we'll start authenticating the data from the database. We'll use JPA for that. We'll remove the hard-coded user, password and role from the previous demonstration and we'll fetch data from the database. We'll start by modeling the entities. Now you can see the user and role entities. We are having the usual first name, last name, mobile, email, and the role entity we are having name and description. And you can see the relation. We have the definition for the roles in the user entity and the users in the role entity. That means it's a bidirectional relation. In this, a user will be associated with many roles and a role will be associated with many users. So we'll be having a many-to-many bidirectional relation. You can see the default creation of Hibernate. It gives us a mapping table t underscore user underscore role, and we have both the tables user and role. That's how we'll get the tables created in the database. You can add the following Maven dependencies to the POM file. We'll start with Spring Cloud, Starter OAuth2, Data JPA, PostgreSQL, and the project Lombok. That's what we'll be adding to the Maven dependencies. And to define the role entity, we are having the ID, name, description, and if you see in the relation, it's a many-to-many mapping, mapped by roles, and I am using project Lombok for the getters and setters. The same thing with the user entity. So when it comes to the relation mapping, we are setting cascade type dot persist and a many-to-many relation. Now let us go to IntelliJ and see what is it. Here in the application.property file, I am setting DDL auto to update. Now let us go to the user entity. As discussed, we are having cascade type.persist, a many-to-many relation. Nothing much about it. We are putting the project Lombok using project Lombok at getter and at setter. Here again, we are having the many-to-many relation mapped by roles, which tells it is a parent entity. Now I have written two repository classes here. The role repository, I not added any methods here. The user repository, I am having find by email. And so what we'll do is we'll run the application. Before that, let me go to the test method, what I have written. Here I have written a create user method where I am creating the user. Username is hello@mail.com. Password is 123. I am setting all the fields, first name, last name, mobile, and array list I am setting up here, adding admin and the user 2. I am adding two roles here, and finally I am saving the user. So what we'll do is we'll run this test method. If you go here, we'll have two users created, admin and user. And in the user, we are having one user with email hello@mail.com. Password is 123. We are using the password encoder to encrypt the password and send it to the database. So everything is working fine. Why I am doing this is we need a user with email and password to authenticate. So that's the reason why I am creating a user, default user. Now everything is set. We have the user, password and everything, and now we have the role also. Let us start by creating a class user data, which is implementing user details. So you can see I created everything here. Let us go to IntelliJ and start creating it. I'll create a new class user data. Implement user details. It's an interface. It's having many methods. We can see it here. Let us implement the methods. Now we can see a collection. This is regarding the roles. Now we can see a get password method here. Get username. Account expired. Now this will return as true. Account non-locked. because we don't have a field in the database right now. Credentials true is enabled true. Now what is left is get password, get username, and get authorities. What we'll do is we'll create a user. We create a list of roles. New array list. Here in this list, let's import it. Mistake. Let us write a constructor. Now what we'll do is get password, user dot get password, get username, return user dot get username, get email, sorry, it's user dot get email. Now here what I will do is create a list, simple granted authorities. And create simple granted authorities. And make it authority. Create an instance of simple granted authorities. Here and get name, which returns a name. I'll return the list. We completed this. Now we will create a new class, user data service, which implements user detail service. Let us go and create it. Create a new class, user data service. Implement user details service. We'll have one method which is to be implemented. So it is load user by username. I'll make this as email so there is no confusion. And fetch the user from the database. So we'll have to auto-wire private user repository. Now please do not forget to mark it as a service. User repository dot find by email Now we'll create a new instance of user data. The constructor is only user, so we'll be passing in a user, we'll be setting the user to the user we have created here, and the role list will be assigning user dot get roles. I made a mistake here, so everything is fine. Now from the previous thing, we'll have to change something in the web security. We were hard coding all the username, password and role and everything. Now what we have to do is we'll have to call the user detail service and pass in user data service, auto-wire the user data service. That's the only change we'll be making in the previous code. In auto-wire, it's the only change that we are going to make. Now let us run the application and just see if it is updated here. Just run the application. Now let us run the application. Now let us open Postman and try to fetch the token. It is localhost. It is running on port 8080 /auth/token. That's the endpoint where you can get access to the token. Here grant underscore type password, username hello@mail.com, password is 123, authorization, basic authentication, client and secret. Let's see what is going to happen. You should get an error. So let's go and check what's the error we are getting. You can see that failed to lazy initialize a collection of role. Could not initialize proxy. So what we'll do is now we will talk about fetch types. There are two types of fetch types, lazy and eager. By default, the fetch type we were using is fetch type.lazy. Hence we were getting that errors. Now let us make it eager. But before that, in one-to-many and many-to-many relations, the default fetch type will be fetch type.lazy, and many-to-one relations, the default fetch type will be fetch type.eager. It tells Hibernate to get all the elements when selecting the root entity. That is, when you select the user entity, all the relations associated with the root user entity will be coming along with it. So let's now go there and change it to, we'll change the fetch type to eager. Now let us rerun the application. We'll send in the same query, same request. Now we are getting the access token. token type bearer expires in 43119, scope, web client and mobile client as we given there. Now, if you want to check, let us change the password. We'll put in 1234 and check whether everything is working or not. Bad credentials. Okay, I'll make it 123. I'll make it hello 1. So you can understand it's picking up correctly from the database. You're authenticated. Now the major takeaway from this demonstration, you have seen how we can authenticate by fetching the data from the database. As usual, I put the source code on GitHub. Thanks for watching the video.